Hello guys, welcome back to my class Snipping. And it's time for another week of the regular one shot. And we're still at the Across the Universe, Across the Multiverse project. And now I'm finally here. Now I'm finally here. I am finally doing another one shot with you guys. And there will be a few more one shots left right now. And yeah, we're getting lesser and lesser of the things. I think there's going to be two more picks or something like that. They're running down to less than about 10 shots, including two of the shots. I also include the two of NSW one shot and probably four regular one shot. I don't know. But anyways, I'm not in the middle of reading. I'm just starting reading this one called A Weird Boyfriends and Full Moons. That's another awesome one. Again, every single fic that we have is all Voltron. It's Voltron fanfic, creating one shot by Witty_me. There's that. All right, so chapter 14. So this is a modern AU where Keith is this werewolf. There's some established relationship going on, and that's it. Okay, so the summary. Lance is fully aware that his boyfriend has some weird habits. No, it doesn't. So what if he eats meat dang near raw and sometimes likes to chase cars? The guy works, but it's part of what makes him Keith. And Lance, well, he's just head over heels for his weird boyfriend. Keith's becoming a werewolf, right? That's all we know. And then Lance is part of the thing right here. Okay. Then and oh my goodness. I have to look at the first one right here, and I mean I can censor myself, but there's no warning for this. This is just a regular fic, okay? It's just a regular fic. There's nothing sexual about this. None of that. Okay. I'm about the I'll get started. I'm just gonna get started. Of weird boyfriends and full moons. Lance will be the first to tell you that his boyfriend is a little weird. He'll also be the first to tell you it doesn't matter because we're all a little weird. We all have our strange little quirks and things that sets us apart. Who is he to judge Keith for his habits when he's so accepting of Lance? Lance spends hours meticulously examining and taking care of his skin, and Keith likes to spend hours outside, coming home covered in dirt and leaves. Lance occasionally likes to put ketchup on plain pasta, and he likes his meat so rare it's practically blue. Lance has a very set pattern of how he dries off after a shower. He likes to just shake himself until water droplets scatter around the bathroom. Lance is a big fan of Keith's, and Keith is damn near obsessed with eating his. So, really, what's there to judge? They both have their preferences and habits, weird little things that have been ingrained into them long before they met each other. And each little quirk makes key, little puzzle pieces that build his whole. So yeah, what if his boyfriend intends to walk around naked like he forgot clothes weren't even an option? Or what if he sometimes smells like wet dog when it rains? It's just Keith. Keith is a little weird. And Lance loves that about him. Everyone warning about moving in with Keith. Nothing against Keith exactly. Lance just has a habit of rushing into things. And everyone tried to warn him that it's a big commitment, a big decision. He should be sure, blah, blah, blah. Something about how people's habits become even clearer when you live together. How it's harder to hide all weird and annoying things. How living with someone can open your eyes into parts of them that you've never known. How sometimes living habits can clash and put strain on the relationship. Even Keith had been a little anxious, though he was the one to suggest it in the first place. Lance wasn't worried though. He spends plenty of time at Keith's apartment, has heard him snore and knows his terrible eating habits and knows how messy he can be. He'd been pretty confident in his decision, but that nothing about Keith can possibly surprise him, and he still stands by that. So when he wakes up in the middle of the night to find the space next to him empty, like it's thrown aside and letting cold air in, he's not surprised. When he blinks blearily and rubs his eyes, Gates focuses on the silhouette of his boyfriend across the room, standing naked and bare in front of the window. He's not surprised. When he hears one of the neighborhood dogs bark and Keith's answer growl, soft and rumbling in his chest, He's not surprised. When he mumbles a soft, "Hey, come back to bed," and Keith stiffens, turning and slinking back beneath the cover for her to Lance's side, whining a murmur, "That dog is being loud again." To which Lance simply whispers gentle, "I know, babe. I know." He's not surprised. So yeah, Keith's a little weird, but that's okay. It's never bothered Lance in the slightest. Okay, so that's just the start. I'm not gonna put it back, change to the big league. Pretty much the same thing about living a life. Lance just living in this apartment with Keith, who's a wolf. Okay, he is a werewolf. All that thing goes into hand, and if you have a pet wolf out there, make sure the wolf is as nice to you. Because again, I told some of you guys, there's a little hint. My spirit animal is a wolf. Because I'm a big fan of wolf. I love it to have a wolf. Oh, I mean, I want to have a wolf thing, but I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to have a pet. But I would want one. I would have a pet wolf. Yeah, I would have one. All right, I'm gonna move on here. Yeah, I think we can make it. Lance sits in the phone, presses his cheek. He shifts away from Sarah. Hey, babe, we don't have any plans Saturday, right? He sits on the floor in the middle of the room, cross-legged, with his hands on his ankles, back straight and posture alert. His eyes follow a piece of popcorn Lance holds between his fingers, moving back and forth just to watch the way Keith's head turns to follow. He hums, absently mumbling, "Don't think so." "Think we're good to go, buddy." Lance lounges back on the couch. He props up on the coffee table, slouching down in exhaustion. It's been a long day. Came home from work with a major case of munchies. The second the first popping started up in the microwave, he had poked his head into the kitchen. Then Lance had gone to lay on the couch, popcorn bowl resting on his stomach. He had gone to sit on the floor, just the usual. "That's great. Awesome. Thanks, man." Hunk's voice comes to the phone. He's in the tail end of the side room. "No problem, dude. I know this means a lot to you. Hey, Keith, we're going to the fair this weekend with Hunk and Shay. Double date." Keith hums, eyes still on a piece of popcorn juice. "It sounds good." "It's not a date," Hunk's voice raises. "It's just, some friends going out to have a good time." "You want it to be a date, though." He crunched the pie between his teeth, grinning as Keith pouts. "I will not deny that the thought had crossed my mind." "Are you eating popcorn?" "Yep. Rough day at work, and I need to drown my sorrows with chocolate." "I think you just want popcorn because Keith does that weird thing and it cheers you up." "I will not deny that." "Is he doing the thing?" He picks another piece, pulling back his arm. He perks up immediately, eyes intense and laser focused. Lance tosses it, and Keith leans slightly to the side, catching it easily in his mouth, chewing happily. Lance circles. "Yep." "Did he catch it?" Lance tosses another. It goes wide, but Keith moves to catch it. Usually, Lance's aim is pretty impressive, but Popper isn't exactly aerodynamic. It'd be easier with grapes, but Keith's allergic to those. That and chocolate, which is a sad existence, but Keith doesn't seem particularly bothered by it. Still, despite his less than impressive throws, Keith always catches the popcorn. Goes back and forth like that. One piece for him, one for Keith. He never misses. I can't believe you guys do that. Like, literally every time there's popcorn. It's fun. It's a little weird. Yeah, but he's cute. So Hunk finally steps into this story. Hunk is just a little concerned about Keith because Keith's a werewolf, remember? Keith definitely likes to catch a little popcorn because when popcorn tosses away, just Keith grabs it and eat it with his mouth. Just it's wolf, okay? I don't know how many times I said that, but we already know this, so we'll just have to move on. So they might be going for a double date, but he's a wolf. What's he gonna do? Okay, let's go on. It's easy to tell when Keith has a bad day at work. He comes trudging into their apartment with his shoulders hunched up and his posture slouched. barely manages to kick off his shoes before shuffling into the apartment. Bags and jacket are abandoned on the floor as he seeks Lance out. No matter where he is or what he's doing, Keith will find him. Will come up next to him and wrap up in his arms, bury his face in Lance's neck or back or shoulder. Will breathe in deep and sigh heavily, body slumping into Lance. And Lance just smiles, just tilts his head to rest against Keith's face hand over Keith's, while he finishes up whatever he's doing. Then he guides his boyfriend to the couch, lays down so he can slump over him, sprawl out on top, boneless and exhausted. He buries his face in the crook of Lance's neck, breathing deep, relaxing more with each inhale. It's something he's always done. Sniff Lance like that. Lance blames his shampoo. Once he realized Keith liked it so much, he never changed it. They spent hours like that, lying on the couch. Lance plays on his phone or turns Netflix on by TV. Lets his blunt nails scratch ill patterns on Keith's back or sink his fingers into his hair. Scratching at his skull, Keith hums pleasantly, tension easing out of him. They often stay like that until hunger demands to get up. And then Keith is disgruntled about it, falling on Lance's feet and whining until Lance lets him lean against his side, barely scratching his head again while he figures out what to make for dinner. On the days that Lance gets home late, he walks in the door to find Keith waiting for him. No matter how tired he is, he finds himself laughing as Keith rushes forward to greet him. As Keith scoots him up into his arms and spins him around, as Keith peppers his face with kisses, as Keith buries his face in Lance's neck and breathes in. On those days, he's hard pressed to push Keith away long enough to shrug out his jacket and kick off his shoes. As much as he complains, though, he doesn't mind. Not truly. Whereas aloof and mysterious and distant Keith had seen before they started dating, he makes for an incredibly attentive boyfriend. Sometimes he could drop hints through text that his day has been rough. He'll come home to find a warm bath already drawn, bath bomb already dissolved, and water fragrant and inviting. On those days, he'll let Keith eagerly tug in toward the bathroom, lets the strip lands of his clothes, gently pressing lips, tongue, and teeth to his skin as it reveals. Lets him guide Lance into the tub before peeling off his own clothes to join him. And Lance will lean back against Keith's chest, as his eyes close, and revel in the feeling of Keith's hands moving reverently over his body. Having a hard time for his work, and this is definitely a big part of it. Keith's gonna be there to Lance. Keith is gonna be there if Lance is having a worse day or getting home late. Yeah, works are a little tough, but you need someone to comfort you, just get all that stress thing away, and sometimes and such. It's there. It's gonna be there. And then get in the shower, and this is a wow. I mean, if you have a boyfriend and your boyfriend's a wolf, we'll have weird things, you know? Yeah, just back in the beginning of the story. Yeah, lots of things gonna be weird. All right, Lance, his voice is carefully neutral, straight off at the end, like she's gearing up for an instant question. But there's far too much tact packed into that voice. He knows that voice. That's the voice she uses when she wants to broach a topic, but isn't sure how he'll take it. When she takes Hunk's lessons on it to heart and puts an effort into not coming across as rude. He'll humor her, if only because he's curious. She scoops a spoonful of ice into her mouth, sucking on the spoon slowly as she gathers her thoughts. Have you ever noticed anything weird about Keith? Can't help but bristle. If only for a moment, who wouldn't when someone's calling your boyfriend weird in a way that feels far too careful? But he forces himself to relax, shrugs as he licks at his ice cream. We're all a little weird, Pidge. Not exactly the picture of normalcy. I know, but like he. She throws up and he frowns. What about him? Just look at him. She waves a hand, gesturing to the field in front of them. They're at the local park, and two of them lounging on the bench eating ice cream. He runs around the grass, seeing squirrels and whatever birds stupid enough to land nearby. He had been buzzing with energy since they arrived, eyes tending to every movement. When Lance had sighed and told him just go already, he had grinned wide before charging into a flock of pigeons. Now Hunk stands nearby, phone out, filling his heat socks carefully, and slowly toward a particularly fat bird. He's having fun. Lance is trying to keep up with his ice cream at the rate that it's melting. He's chasing birds. That's an urge that's literally everyone has. He's just confident enough to act on it. Every dog we pass loves him, stupidly, like they refuse to walk on until they greeted him. He's good with animals. He jumped in a pile of leaves earlier. Yeah, and so did I. She shrugs. I'm just saying, sometimes he acts like, I don't know. Lance turns to her, frowns on his lips. Like what, Pidge? She looks at him then, brows pinched and lip caught between her teeth. Don't get mad at me. I'm not trying to be mean here. It's just an observation. Yeah, no friend judgment zone. Just spit it out. Keith acts like a dog. Lance blinks. Once, twice. Tries to speak only for his words to be cut off with an incredulous laugh. It bubbles out of him, as it shaking. A dog? Are you serious? She bristles, frown pursing her lips. Seriously, just think about it. He has a lot of really dog-like habits. Pidge, my boyfriend, is not a dog. Lance. They both turn to find Keith right next to Pidge, eyes bright and shining, a reckless grin on his face, and hair windswept and wild, and a fat pigeon flesh in his hands. Keith, what the heck? Pidge screeches, scrambling back on the bench. Holy crap! Lance eyes widen, mouth dropping over. You actually caught it. He caught it. And calls, eyes glued to his phone. And I recorded the whole thing. Lance gazed lips from his words to Keith's face. Exhilarated, excited, proud. So then, what are you going to do with it now? Slowly, the adorable smile falls, melts her into a pinched, confused frown and looks down to the bird in his hands, as if suddenly catching up to his actions. I don't know. The bird starts to struggle. Pan sees in Keith's eyes. He holds his arms. Oh, oh, what did I do? Frick, what do I do? Keith? Lance says, voice pitch high as he laughs. Silent for an ovation. Let it go. Keith turns quickly, awkwardly tossing the bird into the air and flinching as he flaps rapidly to get away. When he turns back, Hung is already there, showing Pitch the video on his phone. Lance smiles, patting the bench next to him. As he sits, Keith takes his risen hand, gently holding his hand until he leans forward, using the flat of his tongue to pick up the melting ice cream. Lets out Lance's fingers and up his phone to the ice cream itself. Holds eye contact the entire time, and Lance feels heat flowing through him. Sort of heat is a little weird. Still cute AF, and definitely not a dog. Alright, they're out the park at the time now, and they settle in for relaxing day at the park. And all of a sudden, Keith is just wandering around, running around, whatever he was about to do. He just saw a fat bird, and then he just snatched it with his mouth, and then that fat bird's about to die or something. What's happened? Why? I mean, Keith is a werewolf. Okay. Oh, there's gonna be a lot of times. There's gonna be a counter, and I gotta put the counter in the edit. So whatever. Oh boy, and Paige is acting a little weird about, Lance's pet. I mean, it's a dog, and Lance's boyfriend is really different when you're a dog. But life can be anything. Life can be weird sometimes. You know, life can be weird sometimes. He still doesn't believe Keith is a dog, because that would be impossible. But he has to admit, begrudgingly, that Paige has a point. He can ignore the way Keith curls up on his lap and the way he loves to run his mouth over landscape. He can forgive the meat's heavy diet and his tendency to chase things. He can ride out the weird middle of the night moments when he growls at neighborhood dogs, or the weird way as every single dog they ever meet instantly loves him. He can ride off the way Keith will sometimes perk up, head snapping out of eyes, he tilts his head, hearing something Lance can't. He can even ignore the time he pitifully said, "Good boy." Keith's breath pitched. He was dilated and face went red. Yeah, That's the thing Lance takes advantage of regularly now. Discovering Keith has a major price kink has been one of the best revelations of his life. But anyway, these things might be a little strange, but he stands by the fact that they're very ordinary. It's the fact that they're all stacked up that pushes into weird territory. Still, Lance isn't one to judge, nor is he one to belittle his boyfriend just because he does some weird things. It's one late night when he walks to the bathroom and finds Keith with literal wolf ears sticking out from his messy hair that it really hits him. Gabe a key and watches the way his gaze snaps to Lance, eyes wide and panic calling his features. It's pretty sure he disassociates for a moment, dazed and stunned in the pocket between time. By the time he comes out of it, he has already pushed past into the room, grabbed his bag, and shouted something about staying at chairs before the front door slams. It's them, alone in the silent apartment, that really sinks in. His boyfriend is a closeted furry. I don't know what closeted furry is, but he's inherited with the wolf's hair. I don't know if this hair has a lot of fur. Oh, it's a fur. Sorry. I mean, his boyfriend has a lot of fur. He has a lot of furs now. Yeah, he's a wolf. Don't be like that. Don't admit it. Admit it. Admit it. That one. That happened. Yeah, he has been changed a lot of it, and now it's just from a dog. It's just changed things. Wolf is part of a dog, by the way. You know that because I love this book. When he comes back next morning, he looks rough. There are bags under his bloodshot eyes, and it looks like he hadn't slept at all. His hair is a mess, pulled back to the messy bun. Exhaustion and weariness hang heavily on his shoulders as he trudges into the living room. Lance waits on the couch, and Keith pauses in the middle of the room. He shuffles his feet, eyes down around the room, looks for all the world like a chick puppy, and tugs Lance's heartstrings. Deciding to have mercy on the poor guy, Lance slowly stands, moving carefully around the room. Each step is slow and deliberate. Keith looks flighty, and he doesn't want to start it. But there's also a particular sway in his hips, an intent in his approach. He knows Keith's too wrapped up in his own head to notice, but that doesn't stop Lance's eyes forward swinging his steps. Look, Lance, says, stretching up his head. About last night, Keith, he puts his hands on Keith's shoulders, forces himself to him. When he does, eyes wide and fearful, Lance smiles. It's okay. It is. He sounds skeptical and looks worried. Of course, babe. Lance chuckles, squeezes Keith's shoulders for a good bite for it, letting his hand slide down his chest. His fingertips play with the curve of Keith's collar, sees the ball of his hands up as swallows. We all have our kinks. You're allowed to have yours. Kinks? Keith echoes, wearing his feet down his head. Yeah, the ears. It's okay. I'm not gonna judge you for it. Lance slides one hand down his side to rest at his hip. The other slides up to cup Keith's neck, fingertip into the hair at his neck. He leans in. Lance's breath goes over Keith's ear, then fill his lips, says, I now understand why you like being called a good boy. Keith sips, and Lance smiles against the shell of his ear before dipping his head lower to trail his lips along the column of his neck. I missed you last night. His hand slipped down Keith's sides, slipping into the hem of his shirt to slide around his back, to the taut and firm muscle there. Dimples at his elbow. You didn't need to run. I didn't, he says, a hair breathless in his shirt. I had plans with Cheryl anyway. I have something to show you. He says as he grabs Keith's hands and walks backwards. Eyes slitted and a slight quirk to his lips. Keith falls after him, dazed and careless. Lance leads into the bedroom, pushes Keith down on the bed before sitting back, holds eye contact as he slowly pulls his turtleneck over his head, watches Keith's eyes lock onto his neck as his shirt falls to the floor. He's pretty sure his shirt collar is fairly tame as far as furs go, crossing a little into BSM territory, but he hopes it gets the message across that he's willing to explore for Keith, that he's accepting this part of him. And judging for the way Keith stares at the collar, swallowing hard, fingers gripping into his cheeks. He thinks it works. He climbs onto Keith's lap, and Keith's hands are already there to free him, running up and down his thighs with restless energy, grabbing his hips and dragging him forward as he rolls his hips, leaning forward to capture Lance's lips in a kiss. Lance leans back as Keith sucks dark marks onto his collarbones, runs his fingers around Keith's hair as his teeth right across his skin, rolls hips with Keith's to build that delicious friction. One of Keith's hands on his hip, nails biting his skin, and the other curling his fingers around Lance's collar. Lance smirks, letting his eyes close as he lets a smugly satisfied. Good boy. He smirks as he feels Keith's hips shudder beneath. Oh boy. Um, I don't know how can I put say this. I mean, this is a very close to this, and this is the territory right here. I would have the warning to put on, but I don't want to. This will be like a semi NCW, not kind of a semi, but partially is NCW. Everything else is just good, but partially is NCW. It's a regular one fig. Why this is turned to be a regular fig? And now they put this collar. I mean, he just run away from everything, and then this thing happens. Put in the collar and everything. Yeah. And Lance saying good boy to Keith. Oh boy. I have so many questions that I don't want to answer. Okay, let's move on. The collar becomes a common staple in their sex life, which Lance ends up liking a lot more than he anticipated. No matter how hard he tries, however, he can't get Keith to bring back the ears. He even tries looking for them when Keith is away. But no matter how thoroughly he searches the room, he can't find the actual fur paraphernalia. Hopes Keith didn't throw them out after that one night. He hopes they're just at shares or something. He considers buying his own pair of express, but decides to hold up to see what kind of thing Keith is into. They'll have to open that eventually. Lance will be the first to admit that he's not great at keeping up a steady workout routine. He was better about it in college. He was better about it when he first started touring. In that weirdly competitive and teasing way they did. But now he has a job and he has the boy. There are a lot of nights he would rather laze around the couch and a lot of mornings that he'd rather sleep in. He, on the other hand, has never let up on his routine. He goes to the gym regularly and goes for runs often. Actually, some sort of schedule that makes sense. Works on all parts of his body evenly or something. He even keeps an eye on his diet. The Lance still thinks there's too much protein there. He's definitely not complaining though. Now when he gets to reap the rewards of having an in-shape boyfriend who can bench press him. For as lean as Keith's muscles remain, he packs some surprising power. Yeah, definitely not good. He will, however, blame on those days where Keith's puppy dog eyes are in full swing and he's foolish enough to agree to go run with him. Because he's convinced he never gets tired. Dude can run for freaking ever. And Lance has always been proud of his running prowess. Was in cross country for years, but holy crap, has not on Keith. He just keeps going and going and going. And while he'll admire that stamina in bed, out here, not too much. You okay? Lance asks, judging back to him and doing this little shuffle on his. Like he basically can't keep still, even for a moment. Lance hunched over, hands on his knees as he attempts to catch the breath. It's fine, he whispers. Just trying to remember how to breathe. There's a hand on his back, steady and warm as Keith rubs up and down his spine. You're doing great today, he says. And while there's Susan there, there's also a soft voice. You went further than I thought you would. I'm not done yet, baby boy. He strips, putting his hands on his hips and tilting his head back, squeezing his eyes close against the sun and the stitch inside. Can't let you win. You're a little out of shape to be beating me. Like, I'm not out of shape, he is. But that's beside the point. He turns, jabbing the finger in his features. You're just freakishly inhuman. He smiles at that. Just a slight curl on the edges of his lips. One that lifts his cheeks and crinkles the corners of his eyes. Lance knows that particular smile. That's the smile that gets pulled from him, past his fences, and he finds something funny that others don't realize, something secret. And for once, Lance isn't on the inside joke. His own face falls staring. What's so funny? He shakes it. Nothing. Keith? You can hear his voice rising. Keith, what's so funny? A laugh bubbles out of him. A string of rumbling chuckles spilling past his lips as he turns down the path, already pushing off and start off again at the jar. Try to keep up, he calls over his shoulder, laughter in his voice. Keith, get back here and tell me. Lance starts off after him, pushing through the stitch in his side and egg in his lungs. I'll tell you if you can beat me home. Oh, you're so on. He loses. It's barely a contest. Lance tries to get ahead by cutting off their usual path, by taking shortcuts through town and cutting the route in half. He is still there when it gets home, stretching casually outside their apartment with a smirk on his lips. Lance glares at him, tries to stay mad. It doesn't work for long. Keith drags him to the shower, pushes him against the cold tile wall, and gets down on his knees. Okay, I don't want to get the last. I don't. All right, don't want to get. I don't want to know about the last part. But man, he is becoming more active than Lance thought it would, or I thought it would. Yeah, tried to one up on anybody. So, well, Lance, he's more active now. So, get in shape, my friend. Get in shape. Okay. Contrary to what a lot of people might say, Lance isn't a morning person. At least not an early morning person. Mid-morning, he's golden. He can wake up feeling refreshed, go about his morning routine, get dressed, and sashay into the kitchen to make breakfast with a song in his tongue. But early morning, he's not a person before 8. Anytime before 8, he's still dead to the world. He might be able to drag himself out of bed and robotically get ready for the day, but he's not really a morning person either. He can function on less sleep than Lance can, but still takes him sometimes to wake up, for his mind to catch up to his body. So, in the time that they dated and woken up together, shifting into the time they've lived together, they've developed unspoken morning rules. 1, they're allowed 2 alarms each, no more. 2, he doesn't interrupt Lance's morning routine, and Lance has stopped Keith from moving around him to his own. 3, they don't talk before they both have coffee. 4, whoever gets the kitchen first makes coffee for both of them. So, knowing that neither of them are rhythm people in the morning, and knowing that mornings are a weird liminal time where nothing is real and time is haze, Lance is surprised to walk into his kitchen to find Keith leaning against her, eyes glazed and distant, holding his mug to his face while he idly licks up his coffee, like a dog, like a very lazy dog, like an adorably sleep disheveled dog. Instead of calling attention to the fact that he's lapping up his coffee with his tongue, Lance abides by the no talk rule. He simply smiles, grabs his own coffee mug that's been set out. Coffee treated with just as much cream and sugar as he likes. He leans against the counter next to Keith, rests on Keith's shoulder, and instantly runs fingers through Keith's hair, blunt nails scratching at his phone. Yeah, his boyfriend's a little weird. Doesn't mind. So yeah, this is the morning stuff, and they have some rules to follow. And Keith's there first, so Lance, or make us a coffee, and then after the main coffee, they can start to talk. And now they're just sitting there and just standing, hang out with their mugs of coffee. Sure enough, that's pretty sure enough. All right, let's move on. Lance standing over the stove. Zutophilia watching over several skillets as he makes dinner. When Keith gets home, as soon as he hears the door slam, he knows something is, perhaps not wrong, but certainly off. The air in the apartment feels charged. It seems it sets his nerves on end. Something deep and instinctual that he can't even begin to understand. He doesn't turn around, but he listens intently, trying Keith as he kicks off shoes, drops his bag, and passes into the kitchen. Lance's breath stills in his lung as hands wrap around him from behind. They feel up his eyes, sliding beneath his shirt to find bearskin. Fingers play in tracing the bumps of his ribs, shifting around front to playfully flick over his nipples. He shivers, pushing back as Keith presses into him from behind, tripping his body against Lance, looking his chin over his shoulder. Keith's hands trail down, palms flat to his stomach, full movement out to his hips, swing down over his thighs. They wrap around to the front, sitting between his legs before slowly making a delicious slide upward. A gasp catches in his lips, back arching. You can feel a smile against the skin of his neck, sensitive where you press open mouth kisses to his flesh. He tilts his head, a breathless chuckle on his lips. Well, hello to you too, he hums. and Lance can feel the vibrations against his neck and the rumble of it in Keith's chest. I want you, he says, voice pitch all low and gravely. A predatory edge and a hunger as he already coiling low in Lance's gut. His hips move, already grinding to Lance's butt. It's a slow grind, filthy and slow. Almost absently, like he's not fully aware that his body's getting ahead of itself, but not bothering to keep it in check. Lance pushes back into the scenery, enjoying the low ground behind him as the friction increases. Teeth catch as the skin of his neck, lips sucking dark marks into the vulnerable flesh. Dinner, Lance tries, but his voice cracks. Catches and cuts himself with an itch of his grab as Keith's hand slips past the waistband machines, rubs him in time with his own slow grind. Later, he says, voice low and breath out against his ear. It's with shaking hands that Lance reaches for, turn off all the stove burners. He doesn't know if he'll be able to salvage dinner later, but right now, he doesn't really care. Neither does Keith, nor does he have patience. No sooner is the oven turned off than does Keith pull Waker, lift him up into his arms, and carry him across the apartment to their bedroom. Lips lock and hands wander. Keith's kiss is demanding and hungry. Hands restless and body unrelenting. Lance loosens himself in it. In the way he's manhandled and in the way he touches it, impatient and wild. In the way he bends Lance over and drives them both to madness with a cup snap of his hips. And we're done, aching and spent and covered in sweat. Keith curls around him, pulls Lance to his chest, and those restless hands go from demanding to reverent. Lips trail on the skin. Words mumble and hurry into the silence. This happens often. Lance is oblivious to the pattern. He picks up on it a few months into them dating. Once a month, every month, without fail, he gets ridiculously horny. Something about his hormones works, makes him irritable and angry to others, but deliciously demanding in turn on Lance. It's rough, it's passionate. Often leaves Lance sore for days and marks that last a week. Marks from teeth that feel too sharp and nails that tear into his skin. A grip on his hips that leaves bruises. He doesn't mind, not at all. Rather enjoys it, and especially enjoys the way Keith takes care of him afterward. Once a month, Keith takes him like this. Usually several times a night, sometimes in the morning after. Then the following day, he stays at Cheryl's. Strange. He thinks about it, how Keith's hormones spike and the night he stays at his brother's coincide like that. How it happens once a month, every month, without fail, but it's rarely on the same day of the week or same date. He'll look into the pattern, but the most he can find is how it always seems to fall around the full moon. Not that that's particularly damning. A coincidence more ended. He's heard how people tend to be a little weirder around full moon, how kids are wilder and people lose control of their emotions more. It's probably something like that. Still, it's weird when he lets himself think on it too much. So he chooses not to think on it. Chooses to instead let himself doze Keith's hands rub up and down his back, knowing that he has precious time to recover before round two. Dinner will have to wait. Oh, wow. Keith's getting more hornier than I thought, and yeah, he's a wolf, and he's a horny wolf. Now I can say it. When it comes to full moon, I think full moon really happens now, and that's what werewolves doing. When it comes to werewolf, Keith's about to get rowdy in here in this house. Okay, I'm just gonna move on from here. Lance will be lying if he said he isn't curious about what Keith does when he goes up the stairs every month. It's something they've done long before Lance and Keith met, and long before they started dating. It hasn't changed. And Lance respects that, but Keith hasn't told him what they do. But he respects that too. But gosh darn is he curious. He just says it's bro time, which, yeah, okay. Everyone deserves some of that. But all the time they've been together, he has only let it slip that they just hang out and watch movies and eat dinner and talk. But he said it in his lying voice, the one where he's clearly trying to evade something. For the record, Lance doesn't think it's something wrong or illegal or dangerous. He trusts Keith, okay? It's just insanely curious. But he's been a good boyfriend and has never pried on anything like that. And right now, standing on Sheriff's front porch, pressing the doorbell and rocking back on his heels before he'll admit he's a little curious. Yeah, this isn't because he's trying to spy on her or anything. He just left his phone at home, and phones are important these days. He just figured he'd be a good boyfriend to bring it to him. Door swings open, and Sheriff stands there, blinking surprise, dressed casually in an old t-shirt and sweatpants. Lance? Hey, Shiro, he says, slapping a smile to hide his nerves. He doesn't know why he's nervous, but he is. Feels it bubbling in his gut and tightening around his. He rocks back on his feet. Keith here? I, uh, yes. He doesn't know why Shiro's stuttering. Why the answer is posed like a question when Keith's bike is clearly sitting in the driveway. Shiro's never been great at hiding his thoughts, and uncertainty and worry and inklings of panic that dart over his facial features puts Lance sitting on edge. Great, he says, perhaps a little too loud. Smile a little too sharp as he pushes past Shiro, taking advantage of his surprise to get into the house. Where is he? Lance? He isn't. You aren't. What are you doing here? Shiro follows him as he drifts around the house. Bogan stands into rooms in an intensifying order. He sounds worried. I mean, he's not doing a very good job of playing it off. Even his attempt at a good-natured chuckle is trained. It makes the hair on the back of his neck stand on end. Makes nerves in his gut spark and roll and churn. He knows the layout of Shiro's house. They've been here plenty of times, but every room he looks in is empty. Dark. The kitchen and living room are lit. Dishes from dinner still in the sink, and the movie playing on the TV. Keith forgot his phone, so I decided to bring it. He says it absent as he checks Shiro's office, his bedroom, even the master bedroom. Nothing. Keith's boots are by the front door, his backpack on the kitchen table, but the guest room looks untouched. That's when he hears it, faint and distant. Muted the walls, but a vague sound footsteps. Of scratching? Lance, Shiro's hand comes down his arm, stopping him from moving toward the sound. The grip is strong, brown strength, and ice. I really think we should go. Lance's eyes narrow, lips pursing as he turns to face him. Shiro, he says, close to the heart. Words sharp the edges square his shoulders. Where's Keith? She just stares at him for a long moment, eyes searching his. His arm opens and closes a couple times without words. Sound stretches, tense and strained, and then they hear a whine, high pitch, thrown off to the ground, or scratchy. Something else. He sees the moment Shiro's eyes widen, sees the panic, knows instantly what there's something wrong. Ignore the. What was that? Lance, Shiro, let me go. He yanks his arms out of Shiro's grasp, spins on his heel and darts further into the house. He hears Shiro bearing after him. He hears choppy protests and shouts above the sound of his own pounding heart. He follows the sound to the door he knows and has never used, the door to the basement. He pauses, eyes running in horror. Are you keeping my boyfriend in the basement? And yep, his voice is definitely pitch high in his panic. Instantly, the whining increases, the scratching, that sound of, are those chains? Lance, you don't understand. Just wait. He doesn't wait. Shiro comes around the corner, flushed and panicked. Lance is already throwing the door to the basement open, already barreling down the stairs two at a time. He can hear the sounds, more sounds that don't make sense, more sounds that he recognizes, don't fit into context here, so end up being a confusing jumble in his mind. He drags his hand along the wall, finding a switch as he reaches the bottom of the stairs, clicks it on, and winces at a sudden flooding of light, and freezes, staring wide-eyed at the wolf chained on the far end of the basement. It's huge, far, far bigger than any wolf has a right to be. Black fur, long and wild, shackles around all four ankles, dug into the concrete floor near the wall. The wolf stretches to the end of the chain's reach, claws scratching at the floor, lying low in his throat. Eyes locked on where Lance presses himself against the wall. Eyes that are strangely intelligent. Eyes that are weirdly familiar. Eyes that he could swear that are pleading and desperate. Lance, Shiro's voice, a silhouette at the top of the stairs, but Lance can't look away from the room. It's dangerous down there. He's dangerous. He? Lance echoes, all feeling dry and tongue filled thick. Shiro sighs. A sort of desperate and exasperated sigh. That kind of makes him far older than you. Yes, he. That's. He's. He'll never forgive himself if he hurts you. So please, come back here. That's. He's. He has the pieces, but they flow around in space. Refusing to click together, drifting closer so painfully and slowly, refusing to form a whole picture all at once. Most species drift out of the shadows, things that he knows over the years, things that he's written off and ignored, things that he never had an explanation for but accepted anyway. All the pieces drift closer, 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 and he stares into those dark indigo eyes, flecks of violet catching in dim light. Those eyes are definitely not a wolf's eyes. Eyes that he's stared into far too often and will recognize anywhere. The answer is the tip of his tongue. A full picture that's slowly forming, but refuses to be named until it's complete, until all the pieces finally come together, slide into place, given a truth that feels so strange, but so right. Keith? He whispers, lips forming the familiar name, and hardly even sounded. The wolf whines, ears falling back. He never seen anything so pitiful, and that, perhaps, is what gets him to move. He pushes off the wall, walks across the basement, steps careful but not cautious, slow but confident. Lance, she sucks him sharply. Careful, he won't hurt me. As soon as he says those words, he knows they're true. He knows that no matter how dangerous he is in his current state, he would never hurt Lance. You see in those eyes. He stops in front of the wolf and holds out a hand. There's only a moment of hesitation before he's pushing his head into it. For Lance is running his fingers through the thick black fur. Before his other hand comes up and cups the wolf's giant head, gazing into those beautiful eyes. Smiles, small and tender, but no less genuine. I always knew you were a little weird. The wolf bumps to him, practically knocks him to the ground, licks up his face with a big slobbery tongue that has Lance split and laughing as he attempts to push the beast off of him. Doesn't work. He's strong. He ends up sitting on the floor. Kate's lying next to him with his head in Lance's lap. I've never seen him like that, she says, and Lance looks up to see him lean over the railing at the top of the stairs. Like what? So, docile. He grins, running his hands through Keith's fur and scratching by his ears. Maybe there's something special about him. She chuckles, softly. You know what? I think there is. He moves a handle to scratch at Keith's back, helping a soft flat when he rolls onto his side, knocking Lance over. His head rests against Lance's chest, and he creates it there with one arm. How long has it been like this? Forever. His mom was a werewolf too. A werewolf? Lance echoes, hands stilling. Keith's eyes open, gazing at him patiently. Lance stares back, still processing as he whispers, Holy crap! My boyfriend is a werewolf. I thought you were just a furry. The wolf huffs, eyes closing as he pushes into Lance, finally forcing him to lay down so he can rest his hand on Lance's chest. He chuckles, running his fingers through Keith's fur. The constant movement helps him focus, helps him process, helps him understand. Did we ever tell you how we met, Shiro? He asked, awkwardly, gazing at the ceiling. Something about your family dog got loose in the park. And you found him with Keith? Yeah, and I asked him how he got that wild idiot to listen to him. And you know what he said? What? He said that he was a dog first, and he laughs. All dissipating panic and the relief of finally understanding makes him giddy. Bubbles up inside him. Listening, he hears Shiro laugh, feels as though he keeps his head in his chest, his fur beneath his fingers, and he understands. He finally understands. Everything just makes sense. And yeah, he's going to have to talk with Keith tomorrow, but he doesn't think it'll change much. If anything, it'll make them closer. Just because Keith is still just Keith. It is still a little weird. But Lance loves it anyway. Yeah, Lance finally realized that this parrot there that they found was a dog. And Lance thought it was a dog. He thought that he was a furry. He is a furry. Like, he's dressing up as a furry, but he's not. He's an actual werewolf. He's really a werewolf. and Lance doesn't know about it. So I think I put a lot of ironic stuff in there because we know that he's a werewolf. You know that? And Lance never notices about it. So yeah, now that he knows Lance is a werewolf, comes to full moons, he's grown like that with lots of fur all around his body. That's that. Okay, so we're all coming down with just the 4 picks, and it's of gods and apples, of misunderstandings and serenades, of freedom and flames, and of hope in the future. So we're down to these 4 of those picks. I'm going to check it out again. Okay, so far I got everything in place except for 16 and 19. So just these 4 picks that I have not touched yet. Yeah, those are the only 4 picks that I have not touched yet, but they'll be there some other time. All right, let's spin those and see which one of these 4 we'll land on. There we go. It's gonna be a little faster than that. Yep, of hope in the future. This is the last one ever. Oh, that's not the last one. This will be the next. This is the only one for next week. Oh, yeah, chapter 17. Okay. So, hope in the future. It is a zombie apocalypse. Oh, this is interesting. Very interesting. It is disease and death themes going on. There's some there, but there isn't a happy ending. Okay, there's going to be a happy ending to this story. Yeah, the zombie apocalypse. There's disease and death themes going on. However, there's going to be a happy ending towards this story. So good. That pick was about to get started for next week. That will go to next week. Okay. Yeah. That's it. We're down to just only 4 of these picks. I already select one. Now there's just 3 of them. I'll read this next week, but the other 3, I don't know. Ooh, we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. See you guys next. Okay, I'll see you guys next week with that pick for you. All right. Goodbye.